Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a really fascinating deep dive for you today, sort of unpacking a topic that touches everyone, the profound impact of rest. We've been looking at your sources on this intersection of modern cognitive science and, well, ancient wisdom.
Yeah, specifically how rest influences your mind, your creativity, even your spiritual well-being. It's quite a mix.
It really is.
That's right. For many, rest is just about, recharging the batteries. But we're going to dive into how cutting-edge brain science on sleep and recovery actually aligns with something much older,
Yes, sir.
the biblical concept of Sabbath. So our mission today is to pull out the most important nuggets from your material,
Yeah.
helping you understand what real rest does for your brain, how a lack of it impacts everything from creative insights to deeper connections, and then importantly, give you some tangible, practical ways to integrate more rest into your busy life.
Right, because knowing is one thing, doing is another. It's all about becoming truly well-informed on something that might just transform how you approach productivity, maybe even peace.
Exactly. And you might find some surprising facts that challenge your current habits.
I'm ready. Where do we start?
So let's jump right into the science first. It lays a crucial foundation.
Okay.
Sleep isn't merely a luxury, or something you can just cut short when you're busy. It's absolutely non-negotiable for fundamental brain health.
Non-negotiable. I like that.
Think of it like your brain's nightly maintenance crew. While you're asleep, your brain is literally cleaning house.
Cleaning house. How?
It's clearing out metabolic waste products, things like beta amyloid, via what's called the lymphatic system.
Lymphatic system.
Yeah, you can sort of picture it as your brain's unique plumbing network. It's actively flushing out toxins and debris that build up during the day.
Wow. So it's not just passive resting. It's actively detoxing your brain. That's incredible.
It really is.
Does it go beyond just cleaning then?
Oh, absolutely. Beyond that detoxification, sleep is critical for something called synaptic renormalization.
Synaptic renormalization. Sounds complex.
It sounds it, but the idea is fairly simple. Your brain creates countless new connections, synapses, as you learn all day.
Right.
Sleep helps prune and kind of optimize these connections. It conserves energy and improves overall function.
So like hitting a nightly reset button for your neural pathways.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. And this whole process also consolidates memories, supports emotional regulation, and get this, significantly accelerates learning and decision-making.
Okay, so if you're skipping on sleep, you're missing out on all of that.
Yeah.
What are the immediate impacts? I mean, we've all pulled late nights, right?
Precisely. And the research is really clear on this. Even just one night of sleep deprivation can markedly impair your working memory.
Wow, just one night.
Yeah. It slows your response times and drastically reduces accuracy, especially when you're tackling complex tasks. It's a direct hit to your cognitive function.
Okay, that makes sense. But this next part really caught my eye, the creativity angle. Because, the hustle culture tells us to push harder, right?
Right.
But your sources suggest the opposite, that rest, even just brief pauses, can actually boost creative insight. How does that work?
It's true, and it's fascinating. We have research showing that even brief incubation periods or short naps can trigger those aha moments.
The light bulb moment.
Exactly. This often involves the brain's default mode network.
Okay, what's that?
That's the part of your brain that becomes active when you disengage from focused effort, when you let your mind wander.
Okay.
It allows you to make new, often unexpected connections between ideas. It's often when you're not actively trying to solve a problem that the solution just sort of appears.
So like when you're in the shower, maybe? Or out for a walk, and suddenly an idea pops into your head that you were totally stuck on before.
Exactly that. And the science even drills down to specific sleep stages.
Yep.
Yeah, studies show that very light N1 or N2 sleep stages, these are the early light phases, like when you're just drifting off in a quick 20-minute nap, can be incredibly fertile ground for creative breakthroughs.
Huh. So not even deep sleep.
Not necessarily for this specific type of insight. In one study, get this, 70% of participants experienced creative insights after just such a nap, particularly during that N2 sleep stage.
70%, that's huge.
It really is. It's a powerful argument for the power nap that goes way beyond just feeling less tired.
That's incredible how specific the science is becoming. But, what's truly fascinating to me is how these modern discoveries seem to echo wisdom from millennia ago. What does something like the ancient concept of Sabbath add to our understanding of this essential rest?
It's a beautiful parallel, actually. The biblical concept of Sabbath, which first shows up in Genesis 2, right after the 6 days of creation, It models rest not out of fatigue necessarily.
Not just because God was tired.
Exactly. It's presented more as a divine rhythm, a fundamental principle sort of woven into the fabric of existence from the start.
So it's not just about stopping work because you're exhausted. It's something deeper than that.
Much deeper. Think about the fourth commandment in Exodus 20. It says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy."
Right.
It frames rest as an act of trust. Trust in a larger provision, maybe, rather than relying solely on nonstop human effort. It's recognizing that the world can continue and you can be sustained even when you step back.
That's a powerful idea, trust.
It is, and there's a theologian, James Ashbrook, who draws this really interesting parallel.
Oh, yeah.
He suggests that Sabbath consciousness, that intentional awareness and dedication to a rhythm of sacred rest, aligns beautifully with our natural brain-mind biorhythms,
Like what?
like waking for work, sleeping for physical rest, and dreaming for integration and processing. It's a holistic rhythm designed not just for physical well-being, but for, well, meaning-making and true soul health.
Wow. Okay, so science and ancient wisdom are pointing in a similar direction. It's one thing to talk about concepts, though.
Right.
But to really bring this home, we have a very telling modern cautionary tale you found. Arianna Huffington's personal wake-up call. Many listeners will know her, founder of the Huffington Post. What actually happened?
It was pretty dramatic. On April 6, 2007, Arianna Huffington collapsed from sheer exhaustion, right at her desk.
Collapsed.
Yes, collapsed. She actually fractured her cheekbone. It was a stark physical manifestation of chronic overwork and sleep deprivation.
Oh, my goodness. And this wasn't just a physical injury, was it? It became more than that for her.
It absolutely did. That moment became her catalyst for a radical shift in perspective, a real turning point.
Right.
She went on to found Thrive Global, which is an organization dedicated to promoting sleep and rest as, well, non-negotiable elements for leadership and overall well-being.
So she turned her crisis into a mission.
Precisely. Her story powerfully illustrates that even highly driven, high-functioning professionals, people at the absolute peak of their careers, need rest. Not just for physical health, but to sustain creativity and maybe spiritual clarity, too.
Which raises a really important question. What happens to us when we chronically miss out on this essential rest? Whether we call it sleep debt or ignoring the need for Sabbath.
Well, the science paints a pretty stark picture. Chronic sleep deprivation can actually shrink function in the prefrontal cortex.
Shrink function, what does that mean practically?
That's the part of your brain responsible for complex decision-making, planning, personality expression. Your executive functions. So it impairs your ability to make good choices, and it significantly reduces divergent thinking.
And divergent thinking is?
That's your ability to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. It's crucial for those creative leaps we talked about earlier. Lack of rest really hampers that.
Okay, so cognitively, it's a major hit. What about spiritually? You mentioned clarity earlier.
Yeah, and we see similar patterns echoed in, say, spiritual traditions. Think of the prophet Elijah in the Hebrew Bible in 1 Kings 19.
Right, I remember that story.
He was completely exhausted, fleeing for his life, and he basically just collapses under a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only after he rested, after an angel prompted him to eat and sleep, twice actually, that he was able to journey on and eventually hear God's voice. And how did he hear it?
In the still small whisper, wasn't it?
Exactly. Not in the wind or the earthquake or the fire, but in the quiet. It's such a powerful image, suggesting that spiritual hearing and clarity often emerge in quietness, not in a state of constant frenzy.
So without that Sabbath rest, or even just basic physical rest, we risk a kind of spiritual burnout, maybe even a spiritual deafness.
That seems to be the implication, running on adrenaline instead of attuning to those deeper insights or that quieter voice.
Okay, so if we bring all these threads together, the brain science, the ancient wisdom, these real-world examples, what does it all mean for unlocking our potential? It sounds like leaning into rest actually makes us more capable, not less.
It fundamentally shifts the paradigm, doesn't it? Creativity doesn't just flourish despite rest, it often requires it.
Right.
We touch on N2 sleep for insights, but REM sleep, the stage where we often dream most vividly, is also absolutely key.
How so?
REM sleep seems to prime the brain for insight by integrating disparate ideas, connecting things that didn't seem connected before into novel solutions. It's like a literal factory for innovation happening while you sleep.
That explains why sometimes you wake up with the answer to a problem you went to bed thinking about. or have a breakthrough after stepping away.
Precisely. Or why historical figures seem to intuitively grasp this.
Like who?
Well, it's fascinating to note how people like Thomas Edison and even the artist Salvador Dali intentionally induced hypnagogia.
Hypnagogia. What's that say?
It's those fleeting sort of liminal moments just as you're drifting off to sleep or just waking up, that really hazy state.
Ah, okay. I know that feeling.
They'd apparently do things like hold an object, maybe a steel ball, while sitting in a chair. As they started to doze off, their muscles would relax, the object would drop, make a noise, and wake them up.
Why would they do that?
To capture the fleeting ideas and images from that unique brain state, they believed it boosted their creativity. They were hacking their own rest cycle.
Wow. That's dedication. And beyond just cognitive benefits like creativity, how does something like the Sabbath, that dedicated time, reinforce deeper parts of who we are,
Yeah,
our identity?
that's a really profound aspect. The Sabbath, by its nature, sanctifies time. It sets apart a period not defined by productivity or achievement.
Right?
And in doing so, it sends this powerful, really countercultural message. My worth isn't defined solely by what I do or what I produce.
That's huge in today's world.
It really is. This weekly pause nurtures, you could say, holiness through alignment with the divine rhythm, not just human striving. And it can offer a profound sense of self-acceptance, maybe belonging in something larger than just our individual output or our job title.
This all sounds incredible, truly. But, okay, the big question now is, how do we actually do this?
Yeah, the practical side.
Right. In a world that seems to reward constant motion, constant connection, what are some practical paths to deeper rest that we can actually integrate into our lives, starting now?
Okay, great question. We've pulled 5 science-backed and I think spiritually rich practices from the sources you provided. Things people can try.
Perfect. Let's hear them.
First one, prioritize sleep. Okay, maybe obvious, but let's reframe it.
How so?
While aim for 7 to 9 hours is common advice, the real insight here, tying back to what we discussed, is that this isn't just about feeling rested. It's about literally preventing that toxic waste buildup in your brain.
Right, the glymphatic system.
Exactly. And allowing for that essential synaptic recalibration, viewing sleep as your brain's non-negotiable nightly detox and optimization rather than just downtime, fundamentally shifts its importance.
So get curious about your own ideal rhythm and really guard that time.
Precisely. It might be 7 hours, might be 8.5, but find it and protect it.
Okay, number 1, prioritize sleep as essential maintenance. What's next?
Number 2 relates to those afternoon slumps, a smart nap time strategy.
Ah, the power nap returns.
It does. Short naps, say under 30 minutes, ideally before 3 p.m., are proven to boost alertness and cognitive performance without making you groggy later.
Okay.
But for those deeper benefits, we talked about memory consolidation, that creative boost from N2 sleep, sometimes longer naps, maybe around 90 minutes to complete a full sleep cycle, can be incredibly effective if your schedule allows.
Good distinction. Short for alertness, longer for potentially deeper processing. What if naps just aren't feasible?
That brings us to number 3, micro breaks. These are crucial.
How micro are we talking?
Think maybe every 90 minutes or so. Just pause for 5 minutes. And really pause.
Meaning?
Step away from your screen, stretch, take a quick walk around the office or house, maybe just sit quietly and reflect, or even offer a quick prayer. Genuinely disengage.
Okay.
These brief rests aren't wasted time. They actually restore focus and replenish your mind, likely by leveraging that default mode network we mentioned earlier, letting your brain briefly switch gears.
Makes sense. 5 minutes every hour and a half seems doable. Okay, number 4 sounds like a big one.
It is, but it could be transformational. Our 4th practice is the digital Sabbath.
Oh, tell me more.
This involves choosing a weekly window, traditionally 24 hours, but you could start smaller to completely unplug.
Completely. Like no screens, no email.
Ideally, yes. No screens, no email, maybe even stepping back from typical chores if possible. The idea is to use this time for genuine Sabbath rhythms,
Not yes.
connecting deeply with family or friends, reflective reading, prayer or meditation, spending time in nature, engaging in a hobby purely for joy, not productivity.
It's about creating a holy convocation, as the commandment says, but for your mind and spirit in our modern context.
Exactly, a dedicated time to truly step outside the constant demands and digital noise of the week.
That sounds both amazing and terrifyingly difficult for some people.
It can be, which is why starting small might help, but it's powerful.
Okay. And the final practice.
Number 5, journaling and reflection. This ties into capturing those insights that come from rest.
How so?
After periods of rest, maybe particularly in the morning when your mind is often fresh, or after that digital Sabbath takes some time to record things, dreams, insights that popped up, maybe spiritual promptings or just new ideas.
Like Edison and Dolly trying to catch those hypnagogic thoughts.
Exactly. It's a practice of, you could call it dream incubation or insight reflection. It can profoundly deepen both your cognitive and spiritual awareness by giving those often fleeting, emergent thoughts a place to land and be considered.
Right, so they don't just vanish. Okay, those 5 practices are fantastic. Prioritize sleep quality, strategic naps, micro breaks, a digital Sabbath, and journaling. But I could already hear some listeners thinking,
The barriers.
yeah, the guilt, maybe. Feeling like you're being lazy if you're not always on. Or the fear of missing out, FOMO. Or just intense pressure to perform constantly. How do we start to overcome those hurdles?
That's such a crucial point. And what's fascinating, I think, is how we can reframe rest.
Reframe it how?
Instead of seeing it as being slack or unproductive or lazy, view it as an act of profound stewardship
Stewardship of what?
of yourself.
Right.
Your brain health, your creative capacity, your spiritual well-being. You're not slacking off. You're investing in your long-term capacity and sustainability.
So flipping the script, it's not a luxury. It's actually a strategic necessity for long-term effectiveness.
Exactly. And the data backs this up. Even brief Sabbath observance or just consistently prioritizing sleep has been shown again and again to enhance overall well-being, cognitive function, and spiritual grounding. It doesn't detract in the long run. It enhances.
That's a powerful reframe. Stewardship, not laziness.
And don't underestimate the power of community here either.
How does community play in?
Well, social support and being part of an intentional community, whether it's family, friends, a faith group, can significantly reinforce these rest rhythms. It makes it easier to stick with them when others around you value it too.
So share your intentions. Maybe find an accountability partner.
Absolutely. Accountability helps make these abstract goals concrete.
This has been incredibly insightful. As we close this deep dive, it feels like the big takeaway is that sleep and, well, Sabbath-style rest are these profound pillars.
Yeah, pillars supporting not just cognitive strength and sharp thinking, but also potentially personal holiness and a greater spiritual receptivity.
We've seen it from the nitty-gritty science of brain cleaning
Right, the glymphatic system.
to Arianna Huffington's dramatic wake-up call to the specific ways rest fuels creativity.
Like with N2 and REM sleep.
And even echoed in ancient stories like Elijah, hearing that still, small voice only after profound rest.
It all points towards rest being active, vital, and generative, not just passive emptiness.
So the challenge for you, our listeners,
Right.
this week, should you choose to accept it, is maybe to pick just one rest practice we discussed. Just one.
Okay, keep it simple.
Yeah, maybe it's setting an earlier bedtime for just 3 nights this week. Or trying a mini digital Sabbath for just, say, Saturday afternoon. Something manageable.
Yeah.
Then simply notice what shifts. Maybe keep a brief note in a journal. How does that single act of intentional rest affect your mind, your
Yeah.
mood, your creativity, your spiritual sensitivity, perhaps? Just observe without judgment.
That sounds like a great experiment. Low pressure, high potential insight.
Exactly.
Well, until next time, we really encourage you to explore this. Rest deeply, think freely, and perhaps allow yourself the quiet space needed to hear that still, small voice that often emerges, not in noise, but from the quiet.
Well said. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.